Hello and welcome to another edition of Full Throttle, celebrating the very best in British motorsports from around the UK. Today we're in Kent at the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. 6 races coming up for you today. We have the final round of the 2021 Junior Saloon Car Championship with Charlie Hand looking to wrap up the title. We also have the Carbonate Hyundai Coupe Cup. But first, it's a special event from the Classic Touring Car Racing Club, an all-comers handicap event racing in aid of the Orange Army, the volunteer marshals who make racing possible all over the UK and indeed all over the world. Cars coming to the grid then. Gary Preble in the Honda Civic on pole, Mike Saunders in his beautiful Mark 1 Escort alongside Malcolm Harding in his Mark 2 Escort Zack Speed on row 2 along with Clive Hainsford in the Mazda RX-8. With this being a handicap race, anyone on this 34-car grid could win it. Keeping an eye towards the trio of Trabants, yes really, at the back of the grid, including motorcycle legend and TV presenter Guy Martin in the yellow car at the very back of the grid. And this is going to be a real confusing race for the early laps, especially with the handicap system being used. Racing for the Orange Army, thanks to them for their services as always, our volunteer marshals. We could not have any motorsport in the UK without them. Quick wave from some of our marshals there, a thumbs up as well. Thanks marshals for your service. We're almost ready to go then. The green flag is waved at the back of the grid and off we go. Down towards the first corner at Paddock Hill. The front row gets away well. Don Hughes gets a good start in the Peugeot 306 there through the middle, but it's side by side between Gary Preble and Mike Saunders into the first corner. But they won't be leading at the end of the first lap on corrected time. They'll be leading on the road, but with it being a handicap race, we're going to have to wait and see what the timekeepers and the handicappers have decided. I reckon Rod Burley's going to be in with a chance here. That black BMW, that's Gary Whittaker's old car that won about 100 races, I would think, in Gary's hands. And Rod Burley, if he wins the couple of races this weekend, he'll be on 700 race wins for his career. He's up in the third. It's Mike Saunders who leads on the road in the green Escort. What a magnificent sight they make. Look at the variety. We've got the size of this grid of saloon cars, old and new. That big Aston Martin there. Sam Wilson, I believe it is, on board that machine. The Gulf liveried Aston V8 Vantage. Somebody looking a bit slow already there, the BMW of Will Davison. He's got the indicator going, so I think he's got problems already with the E30. I think he's heading to the pits. Right, over the line they come then. And the cars have been given credit laps. The Trabants were given a 7-lap head start, would you believe, in this 15-minute race, according to the timing screen. Some of the slower cars at the back have been given 4 laps. We're going to have to wait and see how it works out when they've all crossed the line for the first time. But we're still waiting for the Trabants to cross the line as Scott Kerwin attacks up the inside there in the Clio, attacking Eddie O'Kane in the YourIrishShop.com sponsored Hyundai Coupe there. Pat Kennealy's Lotus Cortina in there as well. So it is the Trabants that lead on corrected time, even though they're at the back of the field because they were given so many credit laps. Bart Lemaire, the Dutchman, and Guy Martin were given 7 laps head start, effectively. That's how handicapping works. There they are in the background. But they're already being lapped as they come into Druids on the road. There they are. You can't help but smile. It's such an extraordinary sight. They could take Druids Bend flat out, those little things. Malcolm Harding out there. The quickest car on track is Mike Saunders' Escort. His last lap was a 53.1. Rod Burley's in a 53.3, but because of his handicap, he's currently in last place. Or is he? Because it's so difficult to tell. Even the timing screen isn't sure at the moment. We've got just under 7 minutes of the race to go. The 2 Trabants that are still out there, still showing on top. Yeah, Colburn's back out, so he's rejoined. So Bart Lemaire, the white Trabant, the Dutchman, is still showing as the leader ahead of Guy Martin. It's the Renault Clio that's showing in third place. Scott Kerwin, the black Clio, is showing in third. And then we've got Nathan Beresford fourth, Keith Evans fifth, Colburn is down to sixth after calling into the pits. Luke Bennett's Integra is seventh. And then we look further back down the order. Eighth on corrected time is Colin Claxton. Who's ninth? Alan Hersey's 9th, and Andy Mesham's Mini is 10th. Oh, problems there. Peter Moffat was slowing in the black Escort. Yeah, he's come to a stop on the Cooper Straight virtually there. That's the number 96. That's the car I weren't sure about at first. That's the late entry on the programme of Walden. 96 Steve Walden's in the orange BMW. Oh, waiting for things to work out here. There's Bob Buller in the Anglia chasing Clive Hainsford in the Mazda RX-8. Alan Greenall's Ford Falcon in there as well. Oh, Guy Martin's parked up on the entry to Paddock Hill Bend there, so the yellow flags are out there. Looks like, yes, Guy Martin out of the race, and we've lost H. Harvey's Escort as well. His son Tom Harvey has been working wonders with the BMW of Mike Luck this year as well. So effectively what we've got going on here is a high-speed trial, really, and waiting for the handicappers to work out who's leading. Well, I've currently got 2 cars shown as leading on my timing screen. That's how much sense this is making at the moment. Well, the car shown as leading is Guy Martin, and he's stopped, so that just about sums it up, doesn't it? We think it's the Clio that's going to be taking the lead here of Scott Kerwin, ahead of, Bart Lemaire's pulled into the pits, so we've lost one of the Trabants at least. So Scott Kerwin in the black Renault Clio is now your leader. Second place will be Keith Evans in the little Alfa Romeo. There's Kerwin. So on handicap, he is now the leader. Second will be Keith Evans. Nathan Beresford's blue BMW 1800 will be third. And we have red flags. The red flag has come out. I would imagine that's because of Guy Martin's stranded car. It may be Guy Martin's stranded car that has caused the red flag. Now that could be the reason for the red flag. Guy Martin, motorcycling legend, has parked his Trabant on the outside of Paddock Hill Bend, and the car's heading back into pit lane. Well, with the red flag coming out, the result has been declared, and the winner on handicap is Scott Kerwin in his Renault Clio. Finished quite a way down the field on scratch, but the win on handicap goes to the Clio pilot ahead of Keith Evans' Alfa Romeo by a very clear margin. Nathan Beresford's classic BMW in third. Luke Bennett fourth in his Honda ahead of Ricky Can in the big Aston Martin V8. Colin Claxton's Escort sixth ahead of Mike Manning in the beautiful Sierra Cosworth. Rod Burley takes eighth ahead of Alan Hersey in the Reliant. Cavan Granger completing the top 10. Beyond that, we've got Pat Keneally's Lotus Cortina, then Steve Walden's BMW, the Ford of Anton Martin, Andy Mesham's Mini, and Stuart Kay completing the top 15. Beyond that is Alan Breck with his Ford Capri ahead of Don Hughes in the Peugeot, the Fiestas of Rob Taylor and Tom Abbott in the Sierra. Guy Conyu's Jaguar is next ahead of Alan Greenall in the classic Ford Falcon. Bob Bullen with his Anglia, and Gary Preble in his Honda Civic, the Pre-03 touring car champion. Mike Saunders, one of the quickest men on scratch, had to settle for 24th on handicap ahead of Clive Hainsford in the Mazda RX-8. Then Malcolm Harding, H. Harvey, Martin Reynolds, and finally Eddie O'Kane in the Hyundai. Of course, we lost the 3 Trabants, also Peter Moffat's Escort and Will Davison's BMW, an early retirement. Up to the grid they come then for the second race of the weekend for the Classic Touring Car Racing Club all-comers handicap race, Racing for Marshals, in honour of the Orange Army. Ricky Can in the Aston Martin on pole alongside Malcolm Harding in the Zaxpeed Escort. Mike Saunders on the second row in his Mark 1 Escort alongside Gary Preble in the Honda Civic. Clive Hainsford's flame-spitting Mazda RX-8 on row 3 alongside Rod Burley in the BMW. Don Hughes on row 4, then Martin Reynolds, this year's Blue Oval Saloon Series champion for everything Ford. He won that in an Anglia, racing his Escort today. Completing the top 10, the lovely Jaguar XJS of Guy Connew and the Sapphire Cosworth of Tom Abbott. Mike Manning behind him in his Sierra RS500, and Alan Breck in the Ford Capri. Scott Kerwin was the winner on handicap yesterday. He starts last on the grid, on scratch if you like. The green flag waves at the back of the grid then. This will be a 15-minute race, and a very confusing one it is going to be as well. We'll have to keep an eye on who's leading on handicap as the race goes on from the timekeepers. Waiting for the red lights to go out. Looks like there's a delay at the moment. We've lost somebody there from further back on the grid. Who should be alongside Colin Claxton? There's a gap there. Alan Greenall's not there, the Ford Falcon. Okay, we have a delay to the start. I'm not sure why. Now we get underway. And a poor start by Ricky Cann. As a result, there was a real confusing getaway there. We thought the start was going to be postponed, but then the red lights went out and they're away. A poor start by Clive Hainsford as well in the Mazda RX-8. Who's going to be leading then as they come up towards Druids? It is the Escorts of Malcolm Harding, Mike Saunders and Martin Reynolds who lead the way into Druids for the first time. The Aston and the Mazda have dropped way back down the order. Look at this busy field of saloon cars of all ages out there. Malcolm Harding, regular race winner in the Blue Oval Saloon Series this year, leads the way. Side by side there, Rod Burley sideways, he's going off. A rare spin for Rod Burley. And who's won, I think, more races than anyone else at Brands Hatch in recent years. The BMWs go sliding off there. That was cold tyres, I think. Not sideways there, going side by side with Gary Preble through Graham Hill Bend as the rest of the pack charges through Surtees. Andy Mesham dropping back to the rear of the field there in his classic Mini number 5. Nathan Beresford's beautiful BMW 1800 ahead of him. Steve Walden in the E30 BMW in there as well. But your leader on scratch at the end of the first lap was Malcolm Harding, but we'll wait to see who is leading on handicap. Now, the leaders on handicap will be the cars that have been given 3 credit laps, which are Nathan Beresford, Keith Evans, and there's a couple of others as well. We just have to wait for the timing screen to work itself out with the cars that have been given head starts with credit laps further back in the order. It's Nathan Beresford showing at the top of the timing screen. We've lost H. Harvey there on the exit of Paddock Bend in the Mark 1 Escorts. There's Mr. Chairman in his Ford Capri, Stuart Kay, the Triplex sponsor Capri, the blue and white car there, chasing Rob Taylor in his Ford Fiesta, one of the more modern cars out there on the grid. Okay, so on handicap, your leader is Beresford ahead of Keith Evans. Has Scott Kerwin not come through? Here's a replay from earlier on of H. Harvey's Escorts. Sliding off out of Paddock Bend, across the infield grass on the run into Halewood Hill. Is he going into the tyre wall? Just noses in there. Damage to the Escorts. Thankfully not serious damage. His son Thomas Harvey has been one of the stars of the season in classic touring car racing, racing the Mike Luck owned BMW. There's Bob Bullen chasing Eddie O'Kane. At this point, of course, we haven't got any clue what positions on corrected time these drivers are racing for. They're just having a bit of fun at the end of their season, but that wasn't much fun for Cavan Granger. Sideways there into Druids, and he's hit the side of Peter Moffat's Escorts. Oh dear. I know it's the end of the season, but this is certainly not a demolition derby. Eddie O'Kane ahead of Bob Bullen. Nathan Beresford is still the leader on handicap, the blue BMW 1800 that was at the back of the grid. And Keith Evans' little Alpha Sud is second on corrected time, the white car. Leading on scratch, I think, is still Malcolm Harding, the Castrol Escort. There he is, with Mike Saunders' green Escort second. There's Alan Hersey in his Reliant Scimitar. Didn't see the quicker car coming there. Leader on handicap is Beresford. You can see on the left of your screen there, he just completed his 9th lap. On corrected time, just under a second. There are the handicap leaders. Just going through paddock now. Keith Evans in the little Alpha Sud is second on handicap. There they are, there's Beresford. So he is effectively your race leader, that blue BMW. Seen it occasionally in the Grand Prix 66 touring cars this year. Colin Claxton going past him there. He's third on handicap. It's Keith Evans, that little white Alpha sub, that's second on handicap on corrected time. Eddie O'Kane is fourth, and Alan Hersey in the Reliant Scimitar is fifth. You can see it's changing all the time on the graphics there. Pat Keneally is sixth overall, then Anton Martin. Steve Walden is eighth on handicap. Then we'll wait to see when the next cars come over the line. It's all about doing the most laps, making up your handicap. There's that beautiful Sierra Cosworth RS 500. A car made famous by the likes of Andy Rouse in touring car racing. It's been driven here by Mike Manning. He's done everything over the years. He's done rallycross, hill climbs, circuit racing, all manner of things. Coming towards the closing stages now, 5.5 minutes to go. There goes Gary Preble in his Honda Civic. He dominated the pre-03 touring car championship this year. There's Alan Hersey, that very cool Reliant Scimitar. Rosie the Reliant, she's known as. Been racing a BMW this year as well. There's Alan. And there's Clive Hainsford, the ex-special saloon racer in his very special flame-belching Mazda RX-8, chasing Don Hughes in the Peugeot 306. See their positions in the corrected time order on the left. In fact, we have a new leader on handicap now. Colin Claxton has started to make up his handicap, and the Mark 1 Escorts has gone to the top of the times. 4.6 seconds up on Nathan Beresford. See Martin Reynolds on the left of your screen there in the pit lane. There goes Claxton over the line, completing what is his 13th lap in the time frame of this race. See what his advantage is on handicap shortly, because Beresford and Evans are still running together on track. There's Claxton, the grey and yellow Escort. There he is. So he's your leader on handicap now. Yesterday it was the Clio of Scott Kerwan, but he must have been re-handicapped because he's only showing in 23rd at the moment. He must have had some credit laps taken off him to make it a bit more interesting. There goes the Escort. He's 12 seconds up, so he's really pulling away on handicap. On scratch, it's the Aston Martin that's now back in front of Malcolm Harding. So they're the leaders on track effectively, but it's all about going the most laps and making up your handicap, and that's what Colin Claxton is doing here. Here he comes over the line. This will be his 14th lap completed. So Wilson and Harding, along with Mike Manning, they're running together there, Wilson and Harding. They're 11th and 13th on corrected time. There's Eddie O'Kane. We know he's got another race coming up straight after this one in his Hyundai. There goes Harding, just ahead of Mike Manning now. So they're all battling for position effectively, but in a regular scratch race it would be for the lead. But here with the handicap system being used, they're fighting for 13th place. So the quickest cars on track are fighting for 13th place, if that makes sense. There's Mike Saunders further back now in his Escort. Where is he? 4th on track, 15th overall. And there the 15th place car, lapping the 4th placed car. Yeah, we said we'd try and make head or tail of it and fail. Colin Claxton. So the lead battle on scratch has just effectively lapped the leader on handicap. So one leader laps another. Said this race wouldn't make sense. Harding at the inside, he's content to battle for position with the Aston Martin. Whether it's Ricky Cann or Sam Wilson on board, we're still not sure. But Colin Claxton still leads on handicap in his Escorts. And there's yesterday's winner, Scott Kerwan in the Clio. Moves out of the way, lets the faster cars through. There's Claxton, the silver and yellow Escort. This is the battle for the lead on track between Harding and the Aston. They're having their own private fight here. Less than 2 minutes ago. Look at the power of that V8 Aston. Rockets its way past the Escort in a straight line. Ricky Cann and Sam Wilson, they were racing here last weekend with the Aston Martin Owners Club in their GT Championship. Ricky Cann took the car to a win in the first race. He was beaten in the second race by Rob Fedd in his Lotus Elise. And And there's Tom Abbott in that beautiful Martini liveried Sierra. Sapphire Cosworth there. Gorgeous car that one is. Traffic here, Nathan Beresford, who's still second on handicap. Keith Evans, who's third on handicap. They're second and third on corrected time then. Fourth on corrected time is now Luke Bennett in the Honda Integra. And Wilson and Can, whichever it is making up time here, but I think they're going to run out of time to catch the top runners. Let's have a look where they slot in on handicap here. Yeah, it's up to fourth now, the Aston is, and Harding fifth. See, this is what you've got to do. You've got to push as hard as you can to make up the time from your handicap. But they're still well behind Claxton, Beresford and Evans. Look out, Clive Hainsford. That was close. Nearly hit the Mazda. Clive Hainsford retired from yesterday's race, and I think he's in trouble again here. He slowed right down there. But the checker flag will go out in 25 seconds' time on this classic touring car racing club all-comers handicap racing for marshals. It looks like it is going to be, unless these two can make up a lot of time here, it looks like it is going to be Colin Claxton. These two come over the line. Let's see where they are. Have they made it up? Yeah, they're up to second and third, but they're still 46 seconds down on Claxton. They'll have to make up another lap. So the handicap system has worked. These two are second and third now. They've made their way up the order. And Claxton has just come over the line. So now we'll see if they can make up the time on this final lap. I don't think they'll have enough time to. Wilson and Harding, or Wilson or Can and Harding. There's Clive Hainsford coming to a halt. Checkered flag is already out, and Colin Claxton has taken it. We've just got to wait to see if the Aston and the Escort have made up enough time to catch him. I don't think they will have. They'll probably get second and third. Over the line they go. There's the Aston, there's the Escort, and they've not caught him. Claxton wins by 39.2 seconds. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is handicap racing. We said it was confusing. Okay, the provisional results of that one then. The win on handicap goes to Colin Claxton, ahead of the winner on scratch, the Aston Martin, in second, 39 seconds. He would have had to take a couple more laps, I think, to make that up. Malcolm Harding third in his Escort, ahead of Tom Abbott. They all completed 18 laps. Completing 17 laps, next home on handicap was Nathan Beresford, then Keith Evans, Gary Preble, he was making his way up the order nicely. Stuart Kay in eighth, not in the Ford Mustang, he was in his Capri. Luke Bennett and the 99 of Mike Saunders round out the top 10. Then Mike Manning, Alan Hersey, Pat Keneally, Eddie O'Kane, who's headed straight back to the assembly area for the Hyundai Coupe Cup race next, and Anton Martin completing the top 15. Behind them, Guy Connew in the Jaguar XJS, and Don Hughes in the Peugeot. Cavan Granger, despite that collision with Peter Moffat. And behind them, Steve Walden, Andy Mesham, H. Harvey, despite spinning off at paddock and into the tyre wall briefly. Moffat was next home in the Escorts, then Bob Bullen. Scott Kerwin, yesterday's winner, was given an extra handicap today, finished 24th. 25th was Will Davison, having changed cars overnight. We lost Clive Hainsford towards the end. We saw Rob Taylor's Fiesta ended up in the gravel at Druids. Martin Reynolds pulled into the pits. We lost Alan Breck at the pit lane entrance early on, and Rod Burley went spinning off on the opening lap.
Well, did you enjoy that? If you missed the race yesterday, it was equally chaotic, but we do have a race winner. Happy to be here with Colin. Congratulations. You won that one. Was it a bit crazy?
It was crazy, because with these handicap races, you never know where you are in the race. So you just keep going as fast as you can, and you don't know whether you're overtaking someone or the back marker. You just have to keep, just keep power on.
So when did you find out you won? Did I tell you, or was it you when you drive and they put you in this position?
Flag.
Oh, perfect.
That's when I knew, yeah. Because I thought, well, is I in my fifth, sixth, I don't know, and then that was the first time the checkered flag went out, so I knew I'd won it. So.
And how often have you done these types of races when you've got so many classes, so many different speeds? We'll talk about the Trabants in a second from yesterday. Yep. But I mean, how do you manage going around the racetrack when there's cars going so varying speeds?
You have to. You weigh up your traffic. When you come round, you weigh it up and you think, hang on, I am going to be quicker than them. And what I try to do, if I race with regular people, most people take the same line. So I know they're going in tight. They're not that quick out the corner, so they go in tighter. So you have to be on the outside, otherwise you get shut off. Especially if someone behind you, then you lose space yourself. Very difficult. But this is a really good venue here. It's probably one of the better ones, I think.
And to race with a full crowd must be fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah, it just drives you on a little bit because you want to try that a little bit harder.
Now, we mentioned the Trabants. A little bit safer you felt today than yesterday.
Yeah, obviously because sometimes, especially when we got the Druids there, they was one on the inside, one on the outside, so you went down the middle. Are they going to change line? The only thing is they're going quite slow, so they're not going to dart in front of you. You know, they can give you a minute before they change direction in things. So it wasn't too bad, but it's definitely better when you start coming through the traffic. You know they're not going to be there.
And just tell us a bit about the winning car, the Ford Escort here.
Had it a couple of years. Got a RS 500 turbo engine in it, 500 horsepower, done myself. I didn't build this car myself. I've been built by someone else a few years back. Been kicking about for years, hadn't done nothing, and then went through it a couple of years ago, and just getting grips with it a little bit. So it takes a while to get the use of the car. You know, some of these guys have been racing these cars for several years. So I think you need 2 or 3 years in the seat of knowing exactly where to go with the car. But yeah, well happy.
Well, Colin, congratulations. Great weekend, great win. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Well done to the Classic Touring Car Racing Club in their spectacular all-comers end-of-season race in aid of the Orange Army. We'll take a break. More motorsport coming up very shortly. Welcome back to Full Throttle here on the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. Coming up next, we have the final races of the season for the Carbonate Lighting Hyundai Coupe Cup. So up to the grid next, the Generation 3 Hyundai of Alistair Dendy on pole with Wayne Rockets alongside him. For first of 2 races today for the Carbonate Lighting Hyundai Coupe Cup here at Brands Hatch. This will be a 15-minute race. The Lancaster Insurance sponsored car, the Lancaster Bomber as we call it, Alex Kersley on the second row alongside Paul Lorry, ex-Toyota MR2 racer in number 28. Then Mark Jones, number 32 with the blue and white car, scored his first ever win at Silverstone in the pit stop race earlier this season. Alongside the similarly camo liveried car of Darren Ford. Johnny Rockets, the young gun on row 4, got his first podium earlier this season, starts alongside Neil Hurren, number 87. There's a couple of cars coming into line at the back. Matt Mitchell will start with a 10-second penalty after having been excluded from qualifying. It's for him coming through later on. So the green flag waves at the back, waiting for the red lights to come on as we get ready to go. Hyundai Coupe Cup racing in the sunshine of Brands Hatch. Away they go. Not the best of starts from our pole sitter. Somebody pretty slow away at the back there. That's one of the Misty Racing Gen 3 cars. I think it was Mitch Marie, the ex-Ford Fiesta Junior racer, has struggled away there as they head down Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. It is Wayne Rockets who's got the lead. Alex Kersley running out wide there. Rocket will lead into Druids for the first time ahead of Alistair Dendy. Good start by Darren Ford, the silver and yellow car, going through for third position. The 21 car there at the back is Kevin Sanford in the yellow machine. Alistair Dendy has a look for the lead, but it's the man who started second on the grid. Wayne Rockets, who is away like a rocket, has got the lead. Paul Lorry's going off. Oh, chaos in the pack. Eddie O'Kane's in their big shunt there, and look at that. That's Michael Evans has really smashed into somebody's car. I'd imagine that's going to be a red flag. He's gone head on into, I think that was Neil Hurren. That is a big accident. Red flag is out straight away. Let's hope those drivers are all right. That is Michael Evans. Look at the state of that car. Michael in his father Alan's car, and that's good to see. The door is opening, he's getting out. Let's hope Michael's all right. We'll see again there what happened. It started when Paul Lorry got sideways on the entry into Graham Hill Bend there on the outside. He slid off onto the grass and everybody else just came together behind. Eddie O'Kane hit Neil Hurren and then wallop. Michael Evans straight into the front of Neil Hurren's car. Thumbs up from Michael Evans, he's all right. Back on the grid then for race number 1 of the day for the Carbonate Lighting Hyundai Coupe Cup. A couple of gaps on the grid after that pile up at the first attempt at Graham Hill Bend. Last couple of cars into position, the green flag waves at the back, the red lights will come on. Alistair Dendy and Wayne Rockets will lead them away. Alex Kersley on the second row behind them. The revs begin to rise and off they go. And Mitch Marie's stalled again towards the back of the grid in the number 8 car. There's clearly possibly a problem with the clutch in that car. Side by side as they go into Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Alex Kersley in 3rd place, Mark Jones in 4th. Down the hill they go, then up Halewood Rise. Who's going to come into Druids with the lead this time? Looks like a better start by Alistair Dendy. Side by side for the lead. Darren Ford running out wide there in the 38s. There's Mitch Marie, has got going at the back in the number 8s. Wayne Rocket to the inside as they come down into Graham Hill Bend. He had to back off there as Alistair Dendy turned in. Are they all going to make it through? This time they go over the cement dust put down on the oil from Michael Evans' car. Somebody onto the grass there on the inside. I think it was Anthony Higgins in the 71. Side by side for 2nd place there as they come through Surtees. Side by side between Wayne Rockets and Alex Kersley. Generation 1 and 2 cars together there, but it's a Generation 3 of Alistair Dendy that leads the way. Mark Jones in 4th, Andy Wilmot is 5th. They've broken away slightly from the rest of the field with 6 minutes 20 seconds on the clock. Darren Ford is next. And we've got James Goodwin in the 25. Running wide there, Johnny Rockets in the number 19, attacking Eddie O'Kane as they come out of Paddock Hill Bend. Up the inside, Alex Kersley into Druids. He'll take 2nd place in the Lancaster Insurance car. Through Druids goes the pack in this carbonate lighting Hyundai Coupe Cup Race 1's another race for them later on. Johnny Rockets under fire from Eddie O'Kane. They swap places coming out of Paddock. It's Dendy that leads from Kersley. Rocket 3rd, Jones 4th, Wilmot is 5th, then Ford. 7th is James Goodwin, then Dan Fletcher. Slightly thinned out field as a result of that pile-up. Back to the inside there, Johnny Rocket battling it out with the number 75, that is, of Dan Fletcher, going through Johnny Rocket into 8th position. Johnny Rocket, the 17-year-old, really is flying through the order here, trying to join his father at the front of the field. 2 blue and white Harv liveries cars. And through Paddock they go. He's got the inside on Dan Fletcher in the 75 there. Has he got him into Druids? Yes, he has. Down the hill, there's the 25 of James Goodwin. He's Johnny Rocket's next target. Johnny is going like a rocket here, isn't he, up the order in the number 19. Scored his first podium earlier this season. It's filed us down to 3rd place behind Alex Kersley. Dendy with the lead, but Kersley's got the fastest lap of the race. Eddie O'Kane attacking Dan Fletcher through there in the midfield. Into McLaren they go. Four and a half minutes of this race still to go. Here comes Johnny Rocket again. Look at this, up the outside on James Goodwin. He's never going to go around the outside into Paddock Hill Bend, is he? He's not thinks better of it. Cut back to the inside. He's done this move before on Eddie O'Kane. Goodwin runs wide and through goes Rocket, makes up another place. So that's put him up now into 7th. Youngest man on the grid, fighting his way up the order here. And oh, and a tangle there. Who's that going off? The 48 car, that's Nick Flowers in the red machine. He's spun at Druids. Contact, didn't quite see who with. Meantime, a move being made here by the 77 of Tommy Taylor down the inside, attacking Mitch Marie in the number 8, the Misty Racing car, stalled on the grid, trying to make his way back up the order. Behind them there, Matt Mitter in the number 10. Still 20 cars out there. Last runner is Nick Sanford, so Matt Mitter's made up a few places from the back. Here's the battle between Mitch Marie and Tommy Taylor. Ahead of them it is Ian Brunning, the number 18. There are the leaders. Alistair Dendy still in front, but only just ahead of Alex Kersley. 0.4 of a second was the gap, and Wayne Rocket closing in on them as well. 3 cars for the lead. They're clear of Mark Jones by a couple of seconds in 4th place. Andy Wilmot in 5th. They're coming up to lap Kevin Sanford in the yellow car. And Wilmot has almost caught Mark Jones for 4th now. Darren Ford is in 6th position, and Johnny Rocket is now 7th. James Goodwin lost 3 places on that last lap. Bit of a lock-up there from Alistair Dendy in the Gen 3, the ex-John Winter car. John busy off track as the championship coordinator. There's some gravel on the road there. Somebody may have had an off there at Clark Curve. Over the line go the leaders. Best lap of the race by Alistair Dendy there, his personal best that time through, but still not quite as quick as Alex Kersley. So the gap is coming down. Up the hill they go, into Druids. Is he going to make a move here? Dendy a bit late on the brakes, he was a bit sideways there. Here's the battle for fourth. Mark Jones under fire from Andy Wilmot. The leaders are heading down into Graham Hill Bend. Dendy has held his advantage ahead of Alex Kersley. There's Wayne Rocket in third. Along Cooper Straight, they call it Cooper Straight, it's not very straight. Still Mark Jones in his Generation 3 coupe in fourth. So Generation 1 in second, and a Gen 2 in third with the double headlights. A couple more laps to go. Can Alistair Dendy hang on for victory in the 69 car? Over the line they go, covered by 1.2 seconds, the top three at the line. Dendy leads Kersley by 0.436 of a second. Kersley seems to be stronger in the second half of the lap. Wilmot's gone through. We seem to have lost Mark Jones. He was battling with this man, Andy Wilmot. What's happened to the 32 car? Mark Jones has come through. He came through in 8th place, so he's had a moment somewhere. You're watching the lead battle there, but and slowing there, Kevin Sanford, the 21, in trouble. That's a car. Oh, he's had some contact. That's Roger Owens he's tangled with. Look at that. Bent rear suspension on the Kersley Motorsport car, the car run by Alex Kersley. He's parked up on the grass on the inside of Clearways. Roger Owens is out there as well. Now, was Mark Jones caught up in that, I wonder? Yellow flags out coming through Surtees, so no passing in this section of the lap. There go the leaders. They'll be starting their last lap this time, so they'll cover that with yellow flags for the final lap. It looks like it is going to be a win for Alistair Dendy. Just got to negotiate this final lap, okay. Up the hill ahead of the other two blue and white cars, Kersley and Wayne Rocket. Rocket trying to take second place there. Johnny Rocket is now 6th. He's got ahead as a result of that problem for Mark Jones. Whether he was caught up there in that instant with Roger Owens, I'm not sure. There'll be yellow flags out at Surtees, so no passing in the last bit of the lap. You can see the yellow flag there. So it looks like it is all set for a victory for Alistair Dendy in our first race of the day. An instant-packed race it's been for the Carbonates Hyundai Coupe Cup. Over the final couple of corners, Wayne Rocket runs a bit wide there. And it's going to be a win for the man from Milton Keynes, number 69, Alistair Dendy in the Generation 3 Hyundai Coupe. Comes up to win our first Coupe Cup race of the day. There's the checkered flag. Second place goes to Alex Kersley and third for Wayne Rocket, but it's Alistair Dendy who takes the win. Andy Wilmot will come through for 4th place, Darren Ford 5th, Johnny Rocket good run through for 6th, Dan Fletcher, Mark Jones dropping to 8th, 9th is Eddie O'Kane, James Goodwin is 10th. Here's your results provisionally then. Alistair Dendy, the winner by 0.7 of a second, held off Alex Kersley all the way. Wayne Rocket wasn't far behind either, 1.3 seconds covers the top three. Andy Wilmot takes 4th ahead of Darren Ford. Johnny Rocket's a good run through to 6th position ahead of Dan Fletcher. Mark Jones dropping to 8th place, and Eddie O'Kane and James Goodwin round out the top 10. Darren Banks 11th ahead of Tom Taylor. Mitch Marie, despite stalling on the grid, takes 13th ahead of Matt Mitter and Ian Brunning. Mitter coming through from the back of the grid. Nick Flowers 16th despite a spin up at Druids, and Anthony Higgins and Spencer Hirons completing the 18 finishers. We lost Owens and Sanford in that late tangle. And Paul Lorry, Neil Hurren and Michael Evans didn't take the restart. Cars coming to the grid then for the second race of the day for the Carbonate Lighting Hyundai Coupe Cup. Alistair Dendy looking for his second win of the day from pole position, the grid formed by the results of race 1. Alex Kersley, in what he tells us will be his last Hyundai Coupe race, alongside him. Second row, Wayne Rocket and Andy Wilmot, the ex-touring car racer in the orange car. Row 3, Darren Ford and Johnny Rocket. Remember how he climbed through the midfield in race 1. Watch for him from row 3. 4th row, Dan Fletcher and Mark Jones, a winner at Silverstone earlier this season. Eddie O'Kane on row 5, James Goodwin completing the top 10. Last couple of cars moving into line at the back of the grid. Green flag waves at the back. We are ready for what will be a 15-minute race. Unfortunately, our live timing not working at the moment. There's a bit of creeping there from Andy Wilmot and Johnny Rocket. They could get penalised for that. The race gets underway, and a couple of cars fairly quick through the middle there from the midfield. But the two front row men together into that first corner. And it is Alistair Dendy who leads out of Paddock Hill Bend for the first time into Halewood Rise, chased by Alex Kersley. Good start by Darren Ford up into 4th place. Under attack though from Andy Wilmot. See the dust come down on the oil from the trunks from earlier on. It's Alistair Dendy who leads from Alex Kersley, defending from Wayne Rocket for 2nd place. Darren Ford together with Andy Wilmot for 4th place. So one car a long way behind there. We didn't wonder if we had somebody join in from the pit lane there. As we say, our apologies. We're not bringing you timing for this one because the live timing is currently out of action. So sorry about that. As Andy Wilmot tries a move there into McLaren. Trying to make a move on Darren Ford for 4th place. Didn't manage to make it stick. He locked up. Johnny Rocket is behind them. Over the line they go to complete the opening lap. This is the fight for 4th place. Darren Ford, the camouflage liveried car almost there, the Dazzle camouflage liveried car with the yellow wheels, under fire from Andy Wilmot, who tries again to barrel down the inside. There's a good scrap behind, and Darren Ford's going sideways. He nearly loses it. Andy Wilmot going for the inside, and look at Johnny Rocket up the outside there, and the leader's got sideways as well. Rocket's surely not going to go around the outside of both of them here, out of the Druids hairpin. He's got past one of them. He's going for Andy Wilmot as well. He leans him wide there, down Graham Hill, and he goes through. Oh, aggression there from Johnny Rocket up into 4th place. He wants to go after the 3. I think he wants to beat his father to the flag here. Meanwhile, Alistair Dendy was sliding through Druids there, has held the lead ahead of Alex Kersley and Wayne Rocket. Now, can Johnny join the 3 leaders? Darren Ford still got Andy Wilmot crawling all over him. Now he goes to the inside over the curb at Clearways, takes Ford out wide nearly into the gravel. Andy Wilmot's all over the place here in the orange car. This is absolutely frantic stuff. Thankfully, the timing has now come back, so we can tell you that Alistair Dendy leads by 0.4 of a second at the end of the 2nd lap, ahead of Wayne Rocket, who's through into 2nd, ahead of Kersley. Johnny Rocket 4th, then a solid scrub of cars behind. Busy further back. Darren Ford, after that mistake earlier on, has dropped back to 7th place. A safety car graphic come up there, but the safety car is not out. Let's look at the way Wayne Rocket is going. He's having a go for the lead here. He's squeezed towards the grass. He's squeezed onto the grass by Alistair Dendy down towards Surtees. You can tell it's the last race of the season, can't you? Alistair Dendy hangs on in front. Kersley is 3rd. Now, the way these 3 are going, Johnny Rocket's going to catch these 3 up. Looking at his lap time, he was almost as quick as these 3 last time through. Let's see if he can catch them. Will it be father and son battling Alistair Dendy and Alex Kersley and each other for the lead? Oh, goodness me, we've got a pile-up at Clearways. Mark Jones, Mitch Marie, Matt Mitter's in the gravel. There was somebody else through the gravel there, as well as debris everywhere. And that is definitely going to be a safety car, if not a red flag. I was just saying, you can tell it's the last race of the season, can't you? Mitch Marie with heavy front end damage. Mark Jones, used the car he hit. Yeah, safety car is now scrambled. So your leader is Alistair Dendy. Safety car will pick him up this time around. There's the BMW safety car. Okay. This will help Johnny Rocket. He's able to close up there, but it'll take them a while to clear that mess up. And when we get the restart going, it has to be said there's not going to be many cars left, I don't think. Now there is that Matt Mitter? No, that's number 18, Ian Brunning. Let's try and see what's happened there. There go the leaders, but it's further back. We had the tangle. There's the tangle. Oh, it was the 77 of Tom Taylor that took Mark Jones around, and bang! Mitch Marie crashes into him. He'd already hit somebody else as well. I think he'd gone into the back of Matt Mitter, and there's another car. That might be the 27 of Darren Banks going through the gravel. So the 77 of Tom Taylor was involved in the start of that as well, or at least half a dozen cars involved there. And in fact, I think, yes, the red flag is coming out. So the red flag has come out because of the nature of the incident there at Clearways. There is, I think, just too much to get cleared up in time to allow racing to get back underway. Onto the grid then for another attempt at the Carbonate Lighting Hyundai Coupe Cup Race 2. A 5-minute sprint for the line. Alistair Dendy and Wayne Rocket on the front row. Second row of Alex Kersley and Johnny Rocket on Andy Wilmot and Dan Fletcher on row 3. And Darren Ford and James Goodwin. Eddie O'Kane and Nick Flowers complete the top 10. 15 surviving cars out there waiting for the red lights to come on. Revs are up from these 2-litre Hyundai engines and off they go, and look at Alex Kersley through the middle and look at Johnny Rocket from the second row. They could be 4 wide here as they reach Paddock Bend. It's 4 wide behind as well. Something's got to give here. I think Alistair Dendy has just about held his lead from pole position, and Johnny Rocket attacking his dad Wayne. Family battle for third place, and Kersley's gone a bit wide as well, trying to get up the outside, but it is Alistair Dendy who holds his lead through Druids Hill Bend. Now which of the Rockets has come out? That's Johnny up into third place with the green wheels, has taken third on the inside from his dad. The family battle is joined for third place. Now can Johnny catch the 2 leaders here? Dan Fletcher is 5th ahead of Andy Wilmot in the orange car. They start to sort themselves out. The man to watch here is going to be Johnny Rocket, I reckon. 2 half-and-half liveried Rockets of Denmead car. Johnny with the green mirrors and wheels. Fletcher under fire from Andy Wilmot, the 25 of James Goodwin behind, then Darren Ford, Eddie O'Kane, and the 27 of Banks. I think that is next in the order. They start to sort themselves out. There are the Rockets over the line, charge their way through. Behind Darren Banks is Tom Taylor, then Nick Flowers in the red machine. Through Paddock Hill Bend they go. Here come the leaders of Halewood Rise, and Alex Kersley having a look there. The bob back towards the outside, trying to get the line for Graham Hill Bend. The Rocket family at war for third place. Johnny holding off Wayne at the moment. He's certainly a chip off the old block, isn't he, Johnny Rockets? Great name, that is. He just had to be a racing driver with that name, didn't he? That's all a superhero. Trying to chase down our 2 leaders. Dendy from Kersley, then the Rockets. Dan Fletcher up to 5th. Wilmot is 6th. The rest of them chase through. Now, can Johnny Rockets catch our 2 leaders? I would love to see him take his first ever win here in the final race of the season. Alex Kersley is desperate to win on, as we say, what could be his last race in Hyundai Coupes. Sunsets here at Brands Hatch. Split into 2 pairs. The lead battle after that near 4 wide moment at the start. Kersley all over Dendy for the lead there. And Johnny Rocket take a podium. There goes Ian Brunning pulling into the paddock, the number 18, so we lose another car at the back. We're down to 14 running now. The battle continues at the front. 2.5 minutes of this shortened restart to go, and Alex Kersley's not hanging about here. He had a look there coming out of Druids. He can't get the line away from Alistair Dendy for Graham Hill Bend. He gets a little bunny hop over the curb there, the race leader. Fletcher still 5th ahead of Wilmot. And it's Goodwin, he's got ahead of Darren Ford. O'Kane is next, then it's Darren Banks, Tom Taylor and Nick Flowers. Through to the end of another lap. And sideways there for Johnny Rocket in third place. James Goodwin now ahead of Darren Ford. The battle for 7th place. Up and over the line they come once again. The lead gap is 0.2 of a second between Dendy and Kersley. Kersley's got the fastest lap of the race, 58.795. The Lancaster Bomber, as we call the number 88 car. Then the Rockets 3rd and 4th, and Kersley's all over Dendy for the lead. Dendy's locked up, nearly slid straight on there. I thought he was going to go off. This could be Kersley's opportunity if he can get the line away out of Graham Hill Bend. We're coming around to start the final lap of this restart this time. Long Cooper straight into the sunset they go. First 4 still clear of Dan Fletcher 5th. Wilmot in 6th place. Splitting into pairs at the moment, almost NASCAR style. Again, Dendy locks up. He's pushing really hard to stay ahead of the Lancaster Bomber here. Coming round to start what will be the final lap, I think, this time. It might be fairly close at the line here. This will be the last lap of the race, though. 55 seconds on the clock as they cross the line. Kersley's going to have a look here. He's too far back, though, as they go into Paddock Hill Bend. But that's car of Dendy, number 69, is looking decidedly squirrely. He's pulled away a little bit there, but it's not handling well, that Gen 3. It's a heavier car, that one. You can see him sliding about there on the outside line. The Rocket's still together. Johnny's still in third ahead of Wayne. Will the checkered flag this time, or will they do one more lap? We will wait and see as they head down through Graham Hill Bend. There's Dan Fletcher still in 5th position. Here come the leaders towards Surtees, what I think will be the last time. I don't think Alex Kersley is quite going to get there. Mr. Dendy hanging on. Is he going to hang on for a double victory? Through clearways they go, up towards Clark Curve and the start-finish straights. Clock has counted down to 0, so it's going to be checkered flag this time. Dendy is hanging on ahead of Alex Kersley. There is the checkered flag. Dendy takes the double, and well done to Johnny Rocket. A fine third place, holding off his father. 5th is Dan Fletcher, 6th for Andy Wilmots. Then next through Ford, OK. Goodwin drops to 9th on the last lap, and Banks completes the top 10. Behind them, Taylor and Flowers. Spencer Hirons and Anthony Higgins, the 2 stragglers. That concludes the season for the Carbonate Lighting Hyundai Coupe Cup. But it's a win for Alistair Dendy by 0.17 of a second, holding off Alex Kersley, who didn't quite manage to win what he says will be his final race for the Hyundais. Dendy takes the win, the Rockets 3rd and 4th, and it's young Johnny who takes the podium. Dan Fletcher 5th ahead of Andy Wilmots, then Darren Ford, Eddie O'Kane, James Goodwin dropping to 9th on the last lap, and Darren Banks completes the top 10 ahead of Tommy Taylor, Nick Flowers, Spencer Hirons, Anthony Higgins. We lost Ian Brunning into the paddock. Of course, Mitch Marie, Matthew Ritter and Mark Jones were involved in the accident that brought out the red flag. Well, certainly an eventful day to say the least for the Carbonate Lighting Hyundai Coupe Cup. A fair amount of damage, sadly, for some teams to repair. We'll take a short break. Join us for more motorsport in a few moments' time. Welcome back to the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit here on Full Throttle. Now it's time for the young guns to go for it as we present the final round of the 2021 Junior Saloon Car Championship. So the cars making their way up to the grid then. These are 14 to 16 year olds racing identical 1600cc Citroen Saxo VTRs. Is Charlie Hand going to continue his run of success this year? He's won the majority of the races. Harvey Caton has had a couple of wins this year at Donington and Cadwell Park. Jamie Petters on the front row, his best qualifying effort so far, looking for his first podium, I think, never mind his first win. And Will Redford, a newcomer from the world of sim racing midway through this season, he's really made a splash in his few races he's competed in so far. Ruben Hage in 5th on the grid. He won here at Brands Hatch in a frantic dice earlier this season. Starting on the 3rd row of the grid. Alfie Jeekins, meanwhile, the other championship contender, is way back in 20th on the grid. Blue, white and purple car on the 10th row. The green flag is waved at the back of the grid then. This will be a 15-minute race plus 1 lap. We're about to get underway. Off they go then. And Charlie Hand makes a decent start. Great start by Will Redford up the outside. Look at this, 4 wide as they go towards Paddock Bend. Jamie Petters has made a poor start. He drops back into 4th. And it is Charlie Hand and Harvey Caton side by side as they run out of Druids. I think Caton may have just got the advantage there as they head up towards Druids. Yes, he's got the lead. Harvey Caton, perfect start for the Midlands-based driver. Side by side for second, Will Redford and Charlie Hand. And oh, we've got trouble there. That's Jacob Heap, and heavy damage to the number 16 car. There's damage to Louis Hounsell's car there as well. They've had some contact big time on the run out of Paddock Hill Bend. And Harvey Caton's off on the exit of Graham Hill Bend. The leader has gone. Now, was there contact there with Charlie Hand? We didn't see. There's another car running wide further back, but the safety car is being scrambled because of Jacob Heap's car. Well, we'll try and get a replay if we can of what happened there coming out of Graham Hill Bend, because Harvey Caton we saw spinning off. We didn't see the cause of that. Well, it's all kicked off on the very first lap for the junior saloon cars. The big incident, Jacob Heap with heavy front end damage off at Paddock Hill Bend. The safety car is out. Now, there for the lead, it looks to me like there was contact there between Charlie Hand and Harvey Caton. We just about caught that. Charlie Hand now controls the field as the safety car about to pull in. He'll try and back the field up and then get his foot down at the opportune moment to pull away. The last thing we want, though, is for the field to concertina behind him. There's Harvey Caton lurking at the back, but he'll be at least a lap down after that pit call. Here we go, there's damage there. That's CJ Morgan's car. I think there's already a few battered cars. I've only done one racing lap. Another race to go this weekend as well. Away they go then, the pack is unleashed. Back to green flag racing, and the front of the field already spaced out. That's because Oliver Cottam in problems there, and they can't pass before the start-finish line. Oliver Cottam, whether he's got damage or whether that's engine smoke, but he was very slow away there, and that's caused the first four to be able to pull away because they couldn't pass Cottam until they reached the start-finish line. So that's opened the field up. There's damage there. Is that on Chloe Grant's car, possibly? Yeah, I think she may have hit the back of Oliver Cottam as they were getting back underway. So that's what caused that delay. Behind Grant behind, that's Jack Meakin in the blue car. There's Aaron Walker, and next is Cottam. He's under fire from Matthew Cripps in the number 40 with the white stripes down the bonnet there. So it's Charlie Hand that leads the way. It's over half a second clear of Will Redford. And then Hage and Petters, they were able to get clear as a result of that little schmozzle on the restart there. Number 10 there is Harry Smith, running further down the order. Jack Meakin is up into 5th position then, ahead of Chloe Grant's battered number 63 car. Aaron Walker is up to 7th. And Cottam has gone down to 8th, then Cripps and Sumpton rounding up the top 10. Here are the leaders at Druids. Jamie Petters all over the back of Ruben Hage for 3rd place. See that damage there on Chloe Grant's car. Oliver Cottam has got damage as well. There must have been a collision between those two on the restart. 29 of Scott Sumpton runs a bit wide coming out of Druids. As Aaron Walker has a look at the inside. Cottam sliding all over the place in front of him, well avoided by Matthew Cripps. And Alfie Jeekins, look at that, through the middle, gains 3 places, saying, well, if you're going to all fall over each other, I'll get up to where I should have qualified. 20th on the grid. He's done this before this season, Alfie Jeekins, the ex-junior rallycross racer. Oliver Cottam's now back in the pack. There's some damage at the back of his car. That's why it's handling so badly, I think. Probably damaged the suspension in that collision. So it's Hand from Redford, Hage and Petters. They've gone in front. Meakin is 5th, Walker 6th, Grant down to 7th. Alfie Jeekins is up into 8th position. 6 laps that's taken him to get from 20th up to 8th. There are the leaders. Will Redford is not giving Charlie Hand any peace at all at the front of this field. Side by side for 3rd between Hage and Petters as they duke it out. Hage defending rigorously there for 3rd place. He's still in championship contention, Ruben Hage, as they go into Graham Hill Bend. Sky is darkening a bit here at Brands Hatch. I hope we're not going to have any rain. Jack Meakin still holding 5th ahead of Aaron Walker. Then it's Chloe Grant. Then a gap back to Jeekins in 8th, Cripps 9th, and Sumpton is 10th. Through Surtees into McLaren. Aaron Walker to the inside of Jack Meakin there, side by side. Ruben Hage still defending 3rd place from Jamie Petters. Making the wide line here into paddock. Is he going to go all the way round the outside there? Jamie Petters, that's a brave move given the roller coaster nature of this corner. It is a lot steeper than it looks on your screens. I recently walked a lap of the Brands Hatch Indy circuit, and it really is like walking around a roller coaster track. Side by side through Druids. Now this is going to put Petters on the correct side for the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend, but no, Hage gets the better exit and will have the line back again. So he holds that 3rd place. Pulls away just a length or two there, battling back in the midfield all the way. There's Jensen Bell ahead of the 57 of Ben Carter. Side by side through Graham Hill Bend there, CJ Morgan and Louis Hounsell together. Harvey Caton trying to make his way back up the order, but of course he is still in last place because he's a lap down after calling into the pits. So just trying to at least get a race finish here. They'll have another chance in race 2 because the grid is not based on the result of this one, it's based on the 2nd fastest times in qualifying. There's Louis Hounsell with that front end damage. And pulling into the pits there, that's Oliver Cottam. Not surprisingly, that car was handling dreadfully after that contact after the safety car. Side by side for 3rd, Hage and Petters still fighting it out. Damage to the back of Petters' car there, so he's been hit somewhere. Side by side there, the 58 car, that's Harvey Dent, side by side with CJ Morgan. Ansell behind them in the purple Jeekins prepared car. Behind them, that's 33, Jacob Baldry, he's running well in 50. Ruben Hayes, winner here at Brands Hatch earlier this season, his first win in the championship. Still Charlie Hand who leads, fastest lap of the race as well, ahead of Will Redford. They've pulled 2.5 seconds clear of the fight for third now. His first of 2 races this weekend for the Junior Saloon Car Championship. There's Harvey Caton. Whether he's trying to unlap himself, I'm not sure. Unlikely with the identical cars out there. Ruben Hayes still holding the inside there through Druids. Harvey Caton, the Maximum Motorsport car, and a tangle ahead of him there. Oh my goodness, another one goes off behind. That I think is Jacob Baldry possibly. Harvey Caton got through that. 2 or 3 cars tangling in front of him. They're going all over the place in this first race for the Junior Saloon cars. Hopefully they'll all be able to hold it together for the second race tomorrow. Treble 3 of Adam Harding in behind Caton there. But Caton, of course, as we said, is a lap down as he called into the pits during the safety car. Still Charlie Hand leads the way. That will effectively, I would say, just about wrap up the title for him with Caton well behind out of the points. As Charlie Hand on to receive 50 points plus the bonus for fastest lap. Ruben Hayes, his nearest championship rival, in 3rd place. Jeekins is still 8th. So this is pretty much going to give the title to Charlie Hand, I would think. Will Redford going great guns in 2nd place. Louis Hounsell under fire. That's number 10 of Harry Smith on his tail. Here's the leaders. Charlie Hand from Will Redford. Can Will Redford get past Charlie Hand for his first victory? 90 seconds to go plus 1 lap as they come up over the line this time. So at least a couple of laps to go here. Now lapping in the 59s, these two, and Will Redford's just done the fastest lap of the race, 59.093. So he's closing on Hand, very slowly but surely. Up the hill to Druids. Side by side, still for 3rd. Jamie Petters is determined to get ahead of Ruben Hayes and get his first podium. He was on for 2nd at Donington recently, but got shuffled back in the last couple of laps into 4th. And he's trying to force his way down the inside there into Graham Hill Bend. He's got the line. He's surely going to go through. Hayes tries to turn in, keeps his foot in over the curbs. There's a great fight between these two, and I think Hayes has just about done enough to stay in front. Meanwhile, behind, Aaron Walker's got into 5th, ahead of Jack Meakin. Chloe Grant behind them, then Jeekins 8th. They're still side by side as they come through. This is like the previous visit to Brands Hatch for Ruben Hayes. He was permanently side by side with somebody. Just leans Jamie Petters out wide there. Petters has come from the school of hard knocks on the short ovals in mini stocks racing. Side by side over the line. There's only a few seconds left on the clock, so it'll be last lap next time around for the race leader Charlie Hand. He still leads Will Redford. With all eyes on this battle for 3rd place at the moment. Hayes over the curb there on the outside. He dodges across the front of Jamie Petters, who's forced to the outside yet again. Now he needs to keep this line. He needs to stay alongside into Graham Hill Bend. Now he's forced onto the curb again. He doesn't want to get penalised for exceeding track limits. He tries again down the inside at Graham Hill Bend, and no, again Hayes gets the better exit. This is allowing Meakin and Walker to get through. Meakin's got back ahead there in the battle for 5th place, the blue car. Grant 7th, Jeekins 8th behind. The leaders are coming towards the start of their final lap, and Hand's just got the fastest lap back again, 58.995. Across the line they come then to start the final lap. Last lap board is out. Still side by side over the line. Jamie Petters round the outside there. Can he get 3rd place away coming out of Paddock Hill Bend? They come towards us. They're still they've been side by side for virtually the entire race, these two. Again, Hayes, though, will have the inside line for Druids. Can Petters force the issue down to Graham Hill Bend? No, again, he's forced wide over the curbs. Tries to keep his footing. Has he got the overlap this time into Graham Hill Bend? This time he might have a better chance, but Page just seems to get the better exit from Graham Hill Bend every time, whichever side he is on. Walker's back into fifth in the white car behind them. Petter's up the inside. Has he got it this time? Through Surtees for the final time. He's just about done it. Page back up the inside into Clearways. The win's going to go to Charlie Hand ahead of Will Redford. They're still side by side. It's going to be a photo finish between these two. If Petters gets his foot down hard enough, they're up towards the line. It's going to be a win for Charlie Hand ahead of Will Redford. They're coming towards the line for third place. It's going to be a photo finish, and Petters, I think, got there. Petters gets it by 0.14 of a second. Sensational. Charlie Hand has won it. Will Redford second. It was Aaron Walker who took fifth ahead of Jack Meakin. Chloe Grant 7th, Alfie Jenkins 8th, Matthew Cripps 9th and Scott Sumpton 10th. But Charlie Hand the winner and provisionally your champion, half a second ahead of Will Redford. Jamie Petters third in his sensational battle with Ruben Hayes. Got the run to the line absolutely right. Less than 0.2 of a second in it there. Aaron Walker took fifth in a titanic battle with Jack Meakin. Chloe Grant 7th ahead of Alfie Jenkins. And Matthew Cripps and Scott Sumpton completing the top 10. Ashley Gregory was next ahead of Harvey Dent, Adam Harding, Louis Hansel in his battered car 14th, and Harry Smith completing the top 15. Behind them in 66 was Ollie Handley. Next home was Arwin Graham, then Ben Carter, Jacob Baldry, Jensen Bell completing the top 20. Sandro Ballesteros on his debut took 21st ahead of Harry Hickton, dropping back to 22nd. And the last finisher on the lead lap was Adam Parker, number 92, ahead of the lapped Harvey Caton. We lost CJ Morgan into the pits. We also lost the 77 of Travis Chapman. Oliver Cotton we saw pull off, and Jacob Heap and Jamie Good we lost on the opening lap.
Mate, I'm going to say congratulations. I've not done the official maths yet because anything can happen with the stewards and things, but it looks like championship for you.
Yeah, I'm just over the moon. I'm literally speechless. I can't believe it. It's been such a good year of racing, hard racing, and yeah, just finish it off with a win as well. I've never won at Brands, which is actually quite surprising. But yeah, to get a win here at my home track is just amazing.
And it was a good race. I mean, it was a very exciting race for us watching behind you, but you just controlled that from the start.
Well, yeah, I had Will up my arse the whole time, so that was a bit scary. I could see him. It was like lap after lap. It was like gaining, catching. So there was a lot of like cat and mouse. But I managed just to hold it at the end, and yeah, I'm just so happy.
With championship secured, one more race to come tomorrow. Are you just going to enjoy yourself? What do you do in that race, or are you going to end it all on a win?
Well, I enjoy every race, but obviously the pressure's off now. I didn't like to say that I was under pressure, but obviously you feel it, don't you? So yeah, maybe a couple of drifts through paddock will be probably good. But
like you said, as we saw with Harvey, anything can happen. He spun off on the opening lap and got dropped down to about 25th or 30th. If that had been you, that's championship wide open.
Yeah, it's obviously it's always upsetting to see your competitor go off. It's not really the way I wanted it to end. It would have been better if we had like a proper battle. But congratulations to Harvey. He's driven amazingly all year, and obviously they've still got a secure second place in the next race, so it's still all to play for really for them.
Yeah, still makes it very exciting in the championship for second, third and fourth place still to be decided in race number 2, but your champion here for the year is Charlie Hand. Charlie, congratulations, mate.
Thank you very much.
The car's just coming up to the grid then for Junior Saloon Car Championship race number 2. Charlie Hand, the provisional champion, already crowned after a win yesterday, is on pole. Alongside him is Will Redford. He would surely have been a championship contender if he contested the full season. Had some great results so far this year, looking for his first win here, as is Jamie Petters on the second row in number 322. Harvey Caton, second in the points in the number 54. Finished a lap down yesterday after a spin on the opening lap, and that's called into the pits. Aaron Walker on row 3 alongside Ruben Hayes. He won here at Brands Hatch earlier this season. We'll hear from our truck racers later on. Unfortunately, the organisers looking to get this race in before it gets too dark. Junior Saloons, 14 to 16-year-old racers in identical Citroen Saxo VTRs, their final race of the season. This is going to be an absolute cracker. Last couple of cars into line at the back of the grid. This will be 15 minutes plus 1 lap for the young guns. Will Charlie Hand add to his long list of victories this year? Let's find out. We get underway and he makes a super start from pole position. And down towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. He's got the lead as they head through Paddock. Looks like Will Redford's held second. Oliver Cottam sideways. Is he going to save that? Yes, he is. Nicely done by Ollie Cottam. 4 wide further back in the pack. It's Charlie Hand who leads. Harvey Caton trying to get round the outside of Will Redford into the barriers. That's Ashley Gregory, the 22 car, winner at Knockhill in Scotland earlier this season. She's off. There's damage to another car there at the back of the field as well. We'll try and identify that in a moment. It's Charlie Hand who leads along the Cooper Straight for the first time. Side by side for second, Harvey Caton and Will Redford. Jamie Petters fourth, then Ruben Hage. We're going to have a safety car because of Ashley Gregory's car stranded at Druids. The safety car is going to be coming out, and where's Aaron Walker going? Overshoots McLaren there. He was heading for the Grand Prix circuit. Jamie Petters has gone through the gravel as well. The safety car will pick up the cars on the Cooper Straights. Lights have just gone out on top of the BMW, so we'll be going back to racing this time. Good job by the marshals there, so it'll be about just over 8 minutes to go when we get back underway. Charlie Hand starting to back up the field, ready to anticipate the restart here. See, the safety car's disappeared. Now Charlie Hand will start to increase the speed, put the power down from his 1600cc Citroen Saxo VTR engine. Away they go then up towards the line. The safety car is in pit lane and off they go. Good restart by Charlie Hand, pulls a couple of lengths away, exactly what he needed to do. Redford second, Caton is third, then Hage, Petters and Jack Meakin in sixth position in the number 91. Over the line they go. 50 points on offer to the race winner in this one. It's double points at the final 2 races of the year. And Will Redford still gets his first win here. He challenges as they go into Druids Hill Bend. There's the 600 of Ruben Hage. 1 win to his name. That was here at Brands earlier this year. Jamie Petters still looking for his first victory. Graham Hill Bend they come. Harvey Caton, 2 times a winner this year. Once at Donington, once at Cadwell Park. Meakin in 6th position, he's yet to win. Good to see Harry Hickton up there as well. He struggled a bit yesterday. Father David Hickton, a long-time saloon car racer. Aaron Walker recovering after going off just before the safety car came out here at Clearways. There he is, the white car with the black bumpers. Alfie Jeekins and Louis Hounsell, the 2 Jeekins race prep cars, trying to climb up the order, as is Oliver Cottam. He failed to finish with some damage yesterday. To the line they come. Hand from Redford, then Caton, covered by 0.7 of a second. Hage 4th. Petters in 5th position, then it's Jack Meakin. Harvey Dent is 7th. Also, good to see further down the order, Jacob Heap is back out, number 16. He got some big damage in a collision on the first lap of yesterday's race, so good to see the team have repaired his car. The number 16. Down the hill, a challenge on here from Harry Hickton on the back of Harvey Dent. This is for 7th place. That occurred there on the inside at Graham Hill Bend. A cloud of dust, somebody's gone a bit wide. It's Harvey Caton at the inside into Surtees, goes through into 2nd place. The Maximum Motorsports car of Harvey Caton. He wants a 3rd win of the season. Aaron Walker under fire from Matthew Cripps there, number 40. 6.5 minutes plus 1 lap of this race to go. Over the line they come. Harvey Caton now 2nd. He's 0.8 of a second down because Charlie Hand, has just done the fastest lap of the race, 58.891. There's a bonus point for the fastest lap as well, so Charlie Hand has already provisionally secured the title, but he'll make certain of it here. Ruben Hage under fire for 4th from Jamie Petters. Matthew Cripps having a look up the inside there into Druids. He goes through past Aaron Walker. In there in 6th as Harry Hickton has another dive at Harvey Dent. It doesn't work. Flashing the lights there at Harvey Dent, saying, just reminding him, I think, that he's there. Not to turn in on him, perhaps. Jeekins is up to 11th. He's gained another place past Chloe Grant. Alfie Jeekins has become a bit of a specialist in a burn from the stern, as they say in American racing. He often struggles in qualifying. It's junior rallycross driver. There's Matthew Cripps now ahead of Aaron Walker into 9th place. We'll see Harvey Dent signal to Harry Hickton in return there. There's a bit of needle creeping into their play. And here comes Jeekins closing up on Walker now. Here are the leaders. Charlie Hand from Caton and Redford. Ruben Hayes defending 4th place. Matthew Cripps runs a little bit wide. There's Jeekins, the 754 car, as Harry Hickton moves up alongside Dent again. There's Jensen Bell further back in the 871, very brightly coloured car, having a go at number 10 of Harry Smith. Moves to the inside Graham Hill bend. Almost makes the pass, but he's sideways further back there. That was Jamie Good, I think. Sorry, that was Arwen Graham, apologies. Ballesteros at the back. He's learning his craft on his debut. To look down through the field, they're all young, hard triers, these racers, trying to make their name in saloon car racing. One name has stood out above all the others this year, and that's Charlie Hand. Harry Hickton has made the move on Harvey Dent. Oh, that was a bit of a tight move. Aaron Walker hits the side of Matthew Cripps and he takes him into the side of Harvey Dent, who was nearly living up to his name there. Goodness me, that could have been a bit dodgy if they'd all slid off on the Exeter Druids. Harvey Caton's still second. Well, there's the little group. They've survived that. Behind them is Alfie Jeekins. He'd have been the big beneficiary if they'd all tangled. Just over 3.5 minutes to go. Harry Hickton still ahead of Matthew Cripps. Their dads have raced with the Classic Touring Car Racing Club for many years. Behind them, Harvey Dent. Hopefully no dents in his car as Alfie Jeekins goes for the outside into Paddock Hill Bend. Battle for 7th does into Druids this time. Dent at the inside holds off Jeekins. Walker behind them. Aaron Walker was the man who lost out through Druid last time in that bit of contact. Second place fight heads out of Clearways into Clark Curve. Did the fastest lap of the race last time through a 58.573, so he's closing up a bit on race leader Charlie Hand. Here's the battle further back, and here comes Alfie Jeekins past Harvey Dent out of Clark Curve. He's already got past Aaron Walker as well. Who's his next target going to be? These two still at it, Cripps and Hickton fighting it out. And the Jeekins 754 car catch them. Jeekins, he's got experience on short ovals and in rallycross. Harvey Dent barrels up the inside into Druids, look at that. But he's outbraked himself. Meanwhile, ahead of them, still side by side between Harry Hickton and Matthew Cripps there. Jeekins is going to try and zap both of them. They haven't noticed him. Charlie Hand continues to lead ahead of a determined Harvey Caton. There was a bit of contact between these two on the first lap yesterday. Caton went spinning at Graham Hill Bend, finished a lap down. Harry Hickton nearly into the back of Matthew Cripps there at McLaren. Here comes Alfie Jeekins to get involved in their battle now, the 754. Jeekins was in contention for the championship coming into this weekend, but a poor qualifying put paid to that. Wasn't able to fight for the lead yesterday, and now Harry Hickton blocks him there going down towards Paddock. He's going to go to the outside instead. Up on the curb there, bouncing up on the two wheels, Matthew Cripps at the head of this group. Still Hage fourth ahead of Petters, ahead of this group incidentally, as Jeekins sends one up the inside. It's past Harry Hickton, is he? Still side by side, he's going to be on the outside for Graham Hill Bend, so I don't think he'll get the move done there. Now Hickton holds the place. Bit of rubbing there. Rubbing's racing, as they say. They go out onto the grass. Aaron Walker could get both of them here. Down towards Surtees. And Walker's got ahead of both of them. He says, well, if you're going to take each other wide, there's the gap for me to go through. No, you don't, says Jeekins. Bash into the side of Harry Hickton. Like you said, you can tell it's the end of term for the junior saloon car boys and girls. And oh, Hickton's got a wheel onto the gravel there. He nearly lost it. Look out, Louis Hounsell. He was next in line. He gets ahead round the outside. Meanwhile, Hand still leads by half a second ahead of Caton up front. It'll be last lap next time. There's only about 20 seconds left on the clock. So they'll get through Paddock here. Jeekins on the tail of Walker again. So it's Hand, Caton, Redford, Hage and Petters the top 5. Jack Meakin is 6th, and then this battle is for 7th and 8th. Cripps in 7th place at the head of it, and everybody else trying to be 8th. Absolutely frantic stuff. It's now Jeekins 8th, Walker's down to 9th, Hounsell's up to 10th, Hickton 11th. Meantime, here come the leaders. They're coming round to start the last lap of the season, and the last lap of the day here at Brands Hatch. It's going to be another win for Charlie Hand to cement his championship crown. Totally dominated this season. Over the line they come. One lap to go for Charlie Hand, Harvey Caton and Will Redford. What a great half season Will Redford has had. He competed in about 4 or 5 meetings, but he's already had a couple of podiums. If he comes back to Junior Saloons next year, he will be probably the favourite for the title. Side by side for 4th, Reuben Hage and 3-2-2 of Dan Petters. They're not going to catch champion Charlie. Slid a little bit wide out of Graham Hill Bend there, but it matters not. Harvey Caton's going to have to settle for 2nd and 2nd in the championship. Through clearways they come for the last time. Out of Clark Curve. And a dominant season will come to a triumphant end as they come up towards the checkered flag, punching the air. Champion Charlie Hand takes another victory to sign off for the season. Caton 2nd, Redford 3rd. And 4th place will go to Reuben Hage ahead of Petters and Meakin. Rest of the finishers come in. It's Cripps 7th ahead of Jeekins, Walker, Hounsell and Hickton as quickly as that. Then Chloe Grant's the first of the ladies home ahead of Scott Sumpton. Harvey Dent dropping back to 14th place. Charlie Hand takes another victory to confirm his status as a dominant champion, winning by 0.78 of a second from Harvey Caton in 2nd. He'll take 2nd in the points as well. Will Redford in 3rd place, brilliant half season for him. Reuben Hage 4th ahead of Dan Petters. I think that's enough to give Reuben Hage 3rd in the points ahead of Alfie Jeekins. 6th for Jack Meakin, and then the battle for 7th was topped by Matthew Cripps ahead of Alfie Jeekins. Aaron Walker 9th, and Louis Hounsell, the top rookie in the points this year, rounds out the top 10. 11th for Harry Hickton, 12th went to Chloe Grant, then Scott Sumpton, Harvey Dent dropping back to 14th, and Jacob Heap, justifying his team's efforts to repair his car after an accident yesterday, rounds out the top 15. 16th behind him was CJ Morgan, and then number 67 of Travis Chapman. Behind them, Oliver Cottam, after a couple of slip-ups in that one, finished 18th, making it for a non-finish yesterday. 19th was Jacob Baldry, and Ollie Handley rounding up the top 20. 21st place went to the 871 of Jensen Bell. Then it was Adam Parker, Jamie Good, who missed yesterday's race. 24th place went to Arwen Graham ahead of Ben Carter, and well done to Sandro Ballesteros, completing his first weekend in Junior Saloon Cars. We lost Harry Smith on the last corner, and Adam Harding and Ashley Gregory were first lap casualties.
Well, what a way to end the season in the Junior Saloons. Look at this at Brands Hatch, an absolutely packed house. We've got fireworks coming up shortly as well, and there's been fireworks all throughout this season. Let's get in first of all. Charlie, congratulations, mate. Your season, your win, 14th or so win of the season. Great way to end it.
Yeah, it was a really good way to end the season. It's been fantastic all year, and I'm just so happy.
I mean, could you relax in that? Because you secured it yesterday. Was that relaxing? I know you wanted to end on a win, but that was still pretty good.
Yeah, it was definitely less pressure than yesterday. Obviously, I was going into it with an open mind. But then once you get down to the nitty-gritty and you've got a car right behind you, it's a bit more pressure than you realise.
And just remind us what you're getting up to next season, because you're too old now for this. What are you getting up to?
We're actually not sure yet, which is a little bit annoying. But we've got a few test days and a few opportunities, so hopefully we'll be in something good.
Charlie, congratulations, absolutely fantastic season.
Well, some brilliant racing from the Junior Saloon Cars. Congratulations to Charlie Hand on his championship. That wraps up this edition of Full Throttle, so thanks to everyone here at Brands Hatch. Thank you to all the volunteer marshals and other officials. We could not go racing without them, and thank you to you for watching. More motorsport coming up on a future edition, but for now, thanks for watching and goodbye.